Yeah, don't ever do that, because eventually you're just going to kick him and take all his shit. Cocaine is another big problem amongst comics and actors and stuff like that. I don't do it, but I did for a while, got out of it. I was saying it's tough to get out of, you know, but I was thinking, can you imagine right now being an American coke addict, trying to kick the habit and getting a white envelope full of white powder in the mail? Could you imagine the look on a coke addict just looking at it? Shit, they're mailing it to me now? Your buddy comes in, it's anthrax, throw it out. Hold on a second. And that's when you get the moron friend over to do the line, right? You're like, come on, Jimmy, go ahead. Is he high? Well, his eyes are bleeding. That can't be good. And you know what? Everybody does have a moron friend. And if you're sitting there going, well, I don't, maybe you should think about that for a second. We were going up ice fishing. Haas happens to be my moron friend. Ice fishing is something else that's very Canadian. You try to explain that to people in Europe, and they just don't understand, right? You're like, well, we go fishing when there's ice. And they're like, how? Well, we auger a big hole in the ice, and then we get into a hut, and we drink. We had to go up ice fishing, and the only one who could go get the marijuana, the pot, was Haas. So we sent him to get an ounce of pot. Bad move, right? He comes back, and nobody thinks to question him. He just gets in the car, and we drive up to Espanola to go ice fishing. 4 of us, minus 60, which as Canadians, we all know, minus 60. You tell that to people outside, they're like, minus 60? Yeah, minus 60, without the wind chill. So we're sitting in this hut. We got our beer, we put in our tip-ups, and I look at Moron, and I, like, well, okay, get the pot. And he goes, well, he didn't have any pot. Well, what'd you get, Moron? Swear to God, I'll explain this after. He goes, well, I got a good deal and picked up 20 hits of ecstasy. Okay, ecstasy makes you horny. I'm ice fishing with 3 of my buddies in a hut. Some young girl came up to me and said, ecstasy, that's just like acid, right? No, I've never taken acid and wanted to have sex. Dropped acid, looked across the room and thought, well, once that big spider's done eating my mom, I'm going to fuck the hell out of it. We took it because we were all drug addicts, and just so you know, if you do that, you should let the little guy know that he's going to have to wear the dress. I don't know. Everybody's got sort of homophobic moments. I mean, now they're allowing gay people to get married. It was on the front page of every paper, and it just kills me that, like, you know what, it's way past its time. Like, who cares? Let them get married. They're in love. They have similar relationships. I don't understand what the big deal was about it. But I've had homophobic experiences in my life. I'll admit it. You know, you'd be crazy not to. I worked out at the Y. Yeah, the gay gym down the street. I went in the sauna afterwards, and I'm sitting in the sauna reading a paper. And this gay guy floats in. Oh, shut up, they float. So he sits down beside me. I'm reading the paper, and he's sitting right beside me. And I'm a little nervous, right? So I'm clenching the paper. I'm getting right into the article now, letting them know that it's sports I'm reading. He reaches over and puts his hand on my thigh, underneath the towel. Oh my God, I was just, what a moment. If they had a camera, I was like. And all my friends were like, did you kick his ass? No, because you don't want to fight a naked gay guy. I don't care how good a fighter you are, you're going to touch a ball or a dick or something, right? And what if he wins? What if he's like a ninja queer? You're lying there beat up in a towel with blood coming out of you. He's like, nice try, hetero boy. I did the Pan Am Games, and I had 2 days of drugs like you wouldn't believe. And I know a lot of you are thinking, please don't turn off because I say that I did drugs or whatever. I'm not telling or advocating them. I got out of it, you know, like I did. It is a crutch. It's because your reality sucks. And that's what it comes down to when you're doing it all the time. And I did it all the time. So at the point I was, I had 2 days off, the Sunday and Monday. And 4 Italian guys came up to me after they saw my show and said, well, you're really funny. I said, thanks. And he goes, do you want to come up to my cottage and perform for me and 3 of my buddies? And I said, no. And he says, why? And I said, because that's weird. And then he said, I'll give you $1,000. I said, okay. So I went up to this cottage, believe it or not. I'm standing in the cottage beside a bearskin rug. Just standing there, fireplace, and 4 guys on a couch, no microphone. It's good to be here at Jimmy's. I don't know. So it goes really well. And then 1 in the morning it rolls around, and this little Italian dude comes up to me and goes, hey. I said, hey. He goes, you want to do some acid? I said, yeah. I'm in the wilderness with 4 Italians I don't know, and you don't want to be the only one not to do acid at an acid party, right? You also don't want to be the only one to do acid with 4 Italians in the middle of nowhere at a cottage, which is what happened. I put the acid on my tongue, and the Italians go, all right, well, we're going to go to bed. You ever try to sleep on LSD? Like, it's not like weed. Weed, you're high for 45 minutes. Acid's a 13-hour commitment, right? Like, you can't sleep at all, right? So I'm sitting on the couch just freaking out because it was good acid, too. I'm alone, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just freaking out. 3 in the morning, and I have to take a pee. Now, to a normal person not on LSD, that's easy, right? But when you're on acid, this is what went through my head. I have to pee, but the pee, if I go in the washroom, the dribbling sound will wake up the other cottagers. So I should go outside. Very dark at cottages, as we know, right? Walked outside, took 7 steps outside, turned around, couldn't see the cottage, now I'm lost. I'm on acid in the middle of the wilderness, so I did what anyone else would do. I circled the cottage for about 3 hours looking for it. And then I built a lean-to against a tree because I was going to have to get up early to collect berries. Got woken up at 6 in the morning. The door to the cottage hit me in the foot. I'm still high, and I look up at this guy, and thank God you found me. You want some breakfast, man? I go back in and sit down on the couch. Now, they're having 100 people up, and my ride doesn't come to get me to bring me back into town till 6. I am right in the midst of this acid buzz like you would not believe. So I'm holding on to the couch. I got dark glasses on, and I did what most Canadians do when we panic. Started drinking. Started drinking beer like you would not believe. Drank a dozen, but my thought process is, I don't know any of these people, so I'll put the empties around me in a semicircle, so if anyone has to talk to me, they'll have to cross the wall of beer. Drank 12 beers, okay? It was 6 in the morning when I started, which scared a lot of the cottagers that I cranked out 12 beers. Looked at my watch, figured it's about noon, right? 6:30. Drank 12 beers in 30 minutes. Now I'm wasted. I'm sitting there on the couch just trying to hold on. Now all these people are coming up that I don't know, walking in, looking at me and going, hello, and I'm like, hey. It's got a little shake to me. This is when it gets weird.